Welcome to the fascinating world of world numismatic finds, where rare coins tell timeless stories and reveal hidden treasures from history. Today, we turn our attention to some of the most intriguing quarter-dollar coins of the United States, coins that once passed through countless hands in daily life but today stand out as gems of immense value. From the 1966 quarter with no mint mark and the historic 1965 issue, also without a mint mark, to the striking 1987 D mint mark, the 1990 D mint mark, and the highly collectible 1995 D mint mark, each of these coins carries a unique tale of America's monetary heritage. These quarters, representing eras of transition, artistry, and economic change, are no longer just simple pocket change. They have become coveted treasures for collectors worldwide. With their rarity, condition, and historical significance, they proudly take their place among the world's numismatic finds, proving that even the smallest coins can hold stories of great worth and extraordinary demand in today's market. Let's get started up with the 1966 quarter dollar of the United States of America is one of those fascinating pieces of numismatic history that continues to captivate collectors and enthusiasts to this day. While at first glance it may look like just another ordinary coin from the mid-1960s, closer inspection reveals that this piece holds a powerful story, both in terms of history and value. Struck without any mint mark, the 1966 quarter stands as a true representation of a transitional era in American coinage, and it has gone on to become a collectible that today commands the attention of serious coin hunters worldwide. To truly understand the importance of the 1966 quarter, it is vital to look at the background in which it was produced. In 1965, the United States government made the critical decision to move away from 90% silver coinage and introduce copper-nickel-clad coinage instead. Rising silver prices had made it unsustainable for the U.S. Mint to continue striking silver quarters, and by 1965 the nation's circulating coinage began a completely new chapter. The 1966 quarter belongs to this new clad generation, crafted with an outer layer of copper-nickel bonded to a pure copper core. What makes it unique, however, is that during this transitional period, the Mint decided to eliminate mint marks entirely for coins struck in 1965, 1966, and 1967. This bold step was taken to discourage collectors from hoarding and searching for coins from specific mints during the coin shortage of the time. For that reason, the 1966 quarter carries no mint mark whatsoever, adding to its intrigue. When we examine the head and tail representation of this coin, the artistry is classic mid-20th century American design. On the obverse or head side, we see the profile of the nation's first president, George Washington, facing left with the word Liberty boldly displayed above his head and the motto, In God We Trust, to the left. The date, 1966, is placed neatly below. The reverse or tail side features the bold heraldic eagle with its wings spread wide, perched proudly on a bundle of arrows and encircled by olive branches, symbolizing strength and peace. The words, United States of America, and quarter dollar are carefully engraved, giving the coin a stately and patriotic appearance. The cultural and historical significance of the 1966 quarter cannot be overstated. It not only represents the end of the silver coinage era but also reflects the economic struggles and changes of the mid-1960s. These quarters circulated heavily in everyday American life, passing through the hands of millions, used in vending machines, grocery stores, and even as pocket change at gas stations when fuel was under 40 cents a gallon. For collectors, holding a 1966 quarter is like holding a slice of American history, an everyday object transformed into a remarkable collectible because of its timing, design, and scarcity in top condition. The weight of the 1966 quarter is 5.67 grams, consistent with the copper-nickel-clad composition that defines quarters to this day. Measuring 24.3 millimeters in diameter, it was crafted to replace the older 90% silver quarters that weighed slightly less. Though the composition changed, the feel and durability of the coin ensured it remained a practical, robust piece of circulating currency. Among the key facts, one of the most striking is the absence of the mint mark. Every 1966 quarter, whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, bears no mint mark at all. This was a deliberate policy choice by the Mint and adds to the collectability of this coin because it blurs the lines of traditional numismatic identification. Another crucial fact is the sheer volume of coins minted. Over 821 million quarters were produced in 1966, making circulated examples common but pristine, high-grade examples extremely rare. This is where the topic of rarity and condition comes into play. While the 1966 quarter is widely available in well-worn, circulated condition, it becomes exceedingly rare in mint state grades, especially those certified at MS65 and higher. Collectors place immense demand on flawless examples that retain original mint luster, crisp detail, and virtually no signs of handling. It is this pursuit of perfection that drives the value of the coin dramatically upwards, despite the high mintage. Speaking of value, here is where the 1966 quarter shines in today's market. A circulated example may only bring a modest premium over face value, but in high-grade mint state condition, the numbers become extraordinary. A 1966 quarter graded MS65 has been valued around $49,000, making it one of the most desirable clad quarters ever struck. Even more astonishing are auction records, where certain examples have reached staggering sums of up to $55,800 on platforms such as eBay, heritage auctions, and other numismatic marketplaces. This proves that while the coin may appear common, its rarity in pristine form places it firmly among the elite coins of American numismatics. For collectors looking to add this coin to their portfolio, several tips are worth considering. Always examine the surfaces carefully for sharpness of strike, brilliance of luster, and the absence of contact marks. Certified examples from reputable grading services such as PCGS or NGC are highly recommended, as they provide assurance of quality and authenticity. Keep in mind that while circulated coins are abundant, the real investment and excitement lie in securing a high-grade mint state coin, as these are the ones that consistently command top dollar at auction. In conclusion, the 1966 United States quarter dollar without a mint mark is far more than just an ordinary piece of pocket change. It represents a turning point in American coinage history, carries deep cultural resonance, and, most importantly for collectors, possesses the ability to fetch life-changing sums when preserved in outstanding condition. With values reaching as high as $49,000 in MS65 and record sales of $55,800 in premier auctions, this coin has transformed from everyday change into a true numismatic treasure. For collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike, the 1966 quarter remains a shining example of how even the most ordinary coin can become an extraordinary prize when viewed through the lens of rarity, condition, and demand. Next up, the United States quarter dollar from the year 1990 with the D mint mark, a coin struck at the Denver Mint. While millions of these coins entered circulation, certain rare examples have captured the attention of collectors worldwide, especially when preserved in remarkable condition. What may seem like a simple 25-cent piece in your change can, under the right circumstances, be worth thousands of dollars, making it a true hidden treasure of modern coinage. To understand the importance of the 1990 D quarter, we first need to look back at its background. This coin was minted during a period when the Washington quarter had already become a staple in American pockets and purses, originally introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse proudly displays the portrait of Washington, symbolizing leadership, liberty, and American resilience, while the reverse features the heraldic eagle, a long-standing emblem of national pride. The Denver Mint, represented by the letter D, was responsible for striking millions of these coins, but the reality is that very few survive today in pristine condition, which is where the story of rarity and value begins. From a cultural and historical perspective, the 1990 D quarter represents more than just money. It reflects the ongoing journey of American coinage. It was part of a series that bridged the traditional eagle reverse design with the exciting era of state quarters that would arrive less than a decade later. Collectors often see coins like this as historical stepping stones, marking a period of transition in U.S. coinage. It connects everyday Americans to their past while also sparking curiosity among new generations of collectors who recognize the coin's significance. As for specifications, the 1990 D quarter dollar has a standard weight of 5.67 grams and a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. Composed of a copper nickel clad over a pure copper core, it was designed for durability in circulation. Yet, despite its commonplace material, it is the rarity of its condition that elevates its status in the collector's market. The key facts about this coin lie in its grading and preservation. While countless examples remain in worn, circulated condition worth only face value, the real treasures are the high-grade coins certified by professional grading services. In mint state 65 condition, known as MS65, these coins are sharply struck, lustrous, and nearly flawless, which is an almost impossible find considering most have been in circulation for decades. Because of this, a 1990 D quarter in MS65 has been valued as high as $38,000, a staggering leap from its humble denomination. Even more remarkable are records from auction houses such as eBay, heritage auctions, and other marketplaces, where exceptionally well-preserved examples have crossed the block for as much as $43,700, turning a simple piece of change into a life-changing discovery. The rarity of this coin in such pristine condition is the driving force behind its demand. Circulated quarters from 1990 are everywhere, but coins that have survived untouched, with their luster and sharp detail intact, are almost non-existent. That's why collectors compete fiercely when these coins appear at auction. It is not just about owning a coin, it's about securing a piece of history in its purest form. For collectors looking to get involved, there are several tips to keep in mind. Always check your pocket change carefully. While the odds are slim, incredible finds still happen. Consider investing in a magnifying glass or coin loupe to examine details like mint marks, strike quality, and signs of wear. If you believe you have a valuable specimen, never clean the coin, as this can reduce its value dramatically. Instead, consider having it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC, as certification not only verifies authenticity but also enhances market value. Staying connected to coin shows, auctions, and trusted online platforms such as eBay or Heritage can also give you a better sense of current trends and potential investment opportunities. In conclusion, the 1990D quarter dollar is a shining example of how everyday items can turn into extraordinary treasures under the right circumstances. With values soaring to $38,000 in Mint State 65 and even reaching $43,700 in prestigious auctions, this coin proves that numismatics is not just about collecting, it is about history, culture, and the thrill of discovery. Whether you are an experienced collector or a curious beginner, coins like the 1990D quarter remind us all that sometimes the smallest objects carry the greatest stories, and they may very well be waiting in your pocket right now. Next up, the United States quarter-dollar coin from 1965 with no mint mark is a fascinating and highly desirable piece for collectors, not only for its numismatic significance but also for the story it tells about a turning point in American coinage history. When we talk about this coin, we are not just looking at a small piece of metal. We are holding a slice of history that continues to inspire collectors around the world. The 1965 quarter represents the dawn of a new era, marking the shift away from silver coinage and toward the clad composition that became standard in circulation. Even though hundreds of millions were minted, the survival of coins in pristine condition and with unique traits has made this particular year and type a point of great interest in the rare coin market. To understand the background, we must step back into the mid-1960s, a period when the U.S. Mint faced a nationwide coin shortage. Rising silver prices made it unsustainable to continue striking quarters with 90% silver as had been the practice up to 1964. In response, 1965 became the first year that quarters were struck in a copper-nickel clad composition instead of silver. This decision was monumental, not just for the economy but also for the way collectors view American coins. The 1965 quarter carried no mint mark, as all quarters from that year were deliberately struck without one to discourage collectors from hoarding coins based on mint location. It was the mint's way of ensuring that the new clad coinage entered circulation smoothly, yet ironically, it is exactly these decisions that have turned certain examples into rare and highly valuable treasures today. Culturally and historically, the 1965 quarter stands as a symbol of change and adaptability. The nation was undergoing tremendous social and economic shifts, and the removal of silver from coinage mirrored the broader move toward modernization. While people of that era may not have thought much about the difference in metal content, today's collectors recognize the 1965 quarter as the dividing line between the classic silver era and the modern clad era of American coins. It is a coin that bridges nostalgia with progress, carrying the familiar design of George Washington on the obverse and the proud eagle on the reverse, but with a composition that set the standard for decades to come. In terms of specifications, the 1965 quarter weighs 5.67 grams and is composed of an outer layer of copper-nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Its diameter is 24.3 millimeters, and it has a reeded edge. While this might sound quite standard compared to modern quarters, it is precisely because this was the first clad quarter that the 1965 issue is so special. Collectors appreciate it as the first of its kind, a piece that reshaped the numismatic landscape in America. There are some key facts that make the 1965 quarter particularly noteworthy. Although billions were produced, coins in exceptional condition, especially those graded at higher mint state levels, are exceedingly rare. This is because most quarters entered heavy circulation, enduring scratches, wear, and damage over time. Finding one that has survived in near-perfect condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. Additionally, transitional errors and unusual striking variations from this year have further fueled demand. For example, certain coins struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from 1964 are legendary rarities, but even regular clad 1965 quarters in mint state 65 or higher attract enormous attention. The rarity and condition of these coins drive collector demand today. In circulated grades, the 1965 quarter might seem like an everyday coin, but in uncirculated and superb gem condition, it becomes an entirely different story. The preservation of the luster, the absence of bag marks, and the sharpness of the strike all play a role in determining its desirability. Collectors actively seek out examples that have been graded by reputable services such as PCGS or NGC, knowing that top-tier coins can command staggering premiums. The demand is amplified by the fact that so many collectors want to own a piece of history from this transitional year. When it comes to current market values, the numbers are nothing short of astonishing. A regular 1965 quarter in circulated condition may only bring face value or slightly more, but the real value lies in those rare, high-grade survivors. In mint state 65, a 1965 no-mint mark quarter has been valued at around $27,000, and in certain auctions, including those held by well-known platforms such as heritage auctions and even on eBay, examples have sold for as much as $35,000. These sales underscore the incredible demand and highlight just how important condition and rarity are in determining the worth of this coin. For a coin that most people once considered common pocket change, these prices reveal its transformation into a true collector's prize. For collectors looking to acquire or evaluate a 1965 quarter, there are some essential tips to keep in mind. First, always pay close attention to condition. Luster, strike, and lack of wear are everything. Second, consider certification from a trusted grading service, as this provides authenticity and ensures you know exactly what grade you are dealing with. Third, keep an eye on the auction market, as prices fluctuate depending on demand, rarity, and overall collector interest. And lastly, never underestimate the historical importance of this coin. Owning one is not just an investment but also an opportunity to hold a piece of America's numismatic legacy. In conclusion, the 1965 quarter dollar with no mint mark is far more than an ordinary piece of change. It is a rare and valuable collectible that carries with it the story of a pivotal change in U.S. coinage history. From its background as the first clad quarter to its cultural resonance as a symbol of modernization, it continues to fascinate collectors worldwide. With extraordinary examples commanding values ranging from $27,000 to as high as $35,000 at major auctions, this coin proves that even the most common-seeming pieces can become treasures when preserved in remarkable condition. For collectors, the 1965 quarter is a reminder that history, rarity, and condition together create the magic that makes coin collecting one of the most rewarding hobbies in the world. Next up, the United States quarter dollar of 1987, bearing the D mint mark. This coin, struck at the Denver Mint, has developed an interesting reputation over the decades, and today we are going to explore why it has become such a rare and desirable piece among enthusiasts, particularly when found in circulation condition or preserved in higher grades. The background of this coin takes us back to 1987, a period when the United States Mint was producing Washington quarters as part of the long-running series that began in 1932. The Washington quarter was originally designed to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, and by 1987, it had become a staple in everyday transactions across the nation. The Denver Mint, identified by the small D mark, was responsible for minting hundreds of millions of these coins. But what makes the 1987 D quarter stand out is not just its mintage numbers but the rarity of finding well-preserved examples today, which in turn gives it significant collectible value. Culturally and historically, this coin carries more than just monetary worth. It represents a piece of American heritage during the late 1980s, a decade marked by rapid technological change, economic shifts, and national pride. The obverse of the coin features the iconic portrait of George Washington, symbolizing leadership, integrity, and the enduring values of the United States. On the reverse, the proud eagle design stands as a symbol of freedom and strength, embodying the ideals that collectors cherish not only for historical meaning but also for patriotic representation. In terms of physical details, the 1987 D quarter dollar has a standard weight of 5.67 grams and is composed of a copper nickel clad over a pure copper core. Its diameter measures 24.3 millimeters, making it identical in size and weight to other Washington quarters of its era. These features might seem ordinary at first glance, but within the numismatic community, even slight variations or the scarcity of pristine examples can transform an everyday coin into a highly sought-after treasure. Some key facts stand out about the 1987 D quarter. While the Denver Mint did produce a substantial number of them, the vast majority entered circulation and endured decades of wear. This makes finding pieces in uncirculated or mint state condition increasingly rare. What collectors often look for are coins graded at higher levels, such as MS-65 and above, which command extraordinary prices in today's market. The difference between a circulated piece worth only face value and a gem quality example can be thousands of dollars, which is why condition plays such a crucial role in determining the desirability and value of this coin. Rarity and condition go hand in hand with collector demand. Most of the 1987 D quarters in circulation are heavily worn, showing scratches, faded details, and surface contact marks from years of handling. However, coins that have been carefully preserved, perhaps pulled from circulation early or stored by an attentive collector, can reach levels of rarity that push their market value into remarkable territory. Collectors know that these gem condition coins are not only scarce but also represent an opportunity to own a piece of history that few others can claim to possess. Now let us discuss the current market value of this coin. While circulated examples typically do not fetch much more than their 25-cent face value, it is the high-grade coins that bring the excitement. In mint state 65 condition, the 1987 D Washington quarter has been known to reach astonishing prices, with some pieces valued around $19,000. Even more impressively, certain examples offered at prestigious auction houses like heritage auctions or listed on platforms such as eBay have achieved sales nearing $24,000, reflecting just how high demand has climbed for exceptional specimens. These figures highlight how a common-seeming coin can, under the right conditions, transform into an investment-grade collectible with extraordinary value. For collectors who are interested in pursuing the 1987 D quarter, a few tips can go a long way. Always look closely at the overall condition, paying attention to sharp details, strong luster, and minimal marks. Coins with clean surfaces and clear minting details are the ones that stand out to grading services and auction houses alike. It is also wise to have potentially valuable coins authenticated and graded by professional services to ensure their legitimacy and to establish their market value. Additionally, keeping an eye on numismatic markets, auctions, and online platforms can help collectors identify opportunities to acquire or sell at the best possible price. In conclusion, the 1987 D quarter dollar is more than just pocket change. It is a symbol of American culture, a reminder of history, and for collectors, a source of immense pride and potential financial reward. Though millions were minted, only a very small fraction remain in high-grade condition, and it is these rare survivors that continue to spark bidding wars and capture the imagination of numismatists worldwide. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just beginning your numismatic journey, the 1987 D quarter is a shining example of how an ordinary coin can rise to extraordinary heights in today's rare coin market. At last, the 1995 D quarter quickly emerges as a treasure worth knowing about. This coin is a product of the Denver Mint, which has long played a crucial role in supplying America with coinage for commerce, and it carries a mint mark D right on the obverse, confirming its origin. When we talk about circulated examples, most people remember them as coins they've spent at the store, but the truth is that in today's market, certain examples have gained tremendous collector demand, and values are climbing far beyond what one would expect for a coin struck in the mid-1990s. To appreciate the 1995 D quarter, we must take a step back and look at the background. This coin was produced during a period when the United States Mint was still striking the classic Washington quarter design, which had been in use since 1932. The obverse shows the iconic portrait of George Washington, symbolizing leadership, independence, and the founding principles of the nation, while the reverse displays the proud American eagle, wings spread wide, representing strength, freedom, and national unity. These designs are not only important in terms of artistry, but they also hold cultural weight because millions of Americans grew up seeing and using these coins daily. Each one reflects a piece of living history, bridging the nation's economic system with its patriotic heritage. The 1995 D quarter, like other quarters of its era, was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, weighing 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. Although billions of Washington quarters were made over the decades, what makes certain examples of the 1995 D Mint Mark coin special is not just their basic design or composition, but the condition, rarity of high-grade survivors, and the collector market's desire to own the very best. Collectors often search for examples that survived circulation in nearly pristine shape, free from the scratches, marks, and wear that most coins pick up through daily use. Key facts about the 1995 D quarter show that while millions were minted, very few have survived in exceptional condition, especially at the level that grading services consider mint state. Most circulated pieces today are worth only face value, but in uncirculated grades the story changes dramatically. Coins graded MS-65 have been known to command extraordinary prices, with values climbing as high as $11,000 in recent years. Even more impressively, when a coin of this type appears at major auction houses such as heritage auctions or online platforms like eBay, pristine top-graded examples have been reported to sell for figures reaching $17,000. These values may sound surprising, but they reflect the reality of collector demand for coins that stand out in rarity and preservation. The rarity and condition of this coin play the most important role in driving collector interest. Ordinary circulated coins may not bring high returns, but when we talk about those rare survivors that avoided wear and remained in exceptional mint state, they instantly become hot commodities. Collectors are drawn to coins like the 1995 D-quarter not only because of its place in American coinage history, but also because such pieces represent the challenge and reward of building a collection where quality makes all the difference. For collectors who are interested in this coin, the tips are simple yet important. Always pay attention to condition first, because that is the determining factor between a coin worth face value and one worth thousands of dollars. Seek out reputable grading services to authenticate and certify your coins, as this provides both trust and transparency in the marketplace. Stay informed by checking auction results and collector forums to understand current trends. And remember that patience is a virtue in coin collecting. Sometimes the right piece takes time to find, but when you do, it can prove to be a significant addition both historically and financially. In conclusion, the 1995 quarter dollar with the D mint mark is far more than a coin that once passed through the hands of millions of Americans. It represents history, culture, and the artistry of the Washington Quarter Series, while also standing as a symbol of rarity and collector passion in the numismatic world. In ordinary circulated condition it may not seem like much, but in high-end mint state examples, it has reached astonishing values, with $11,000 and even $17,000 achieved in competitive auction markets. This makes it one of those special modern issues that numismatists look at with excitement and respect. So if you happen to come across one of these coins, whether tucked away in a drawer or inherited from family change, always take a closer look. You may just be holding a hidden gem of great value and historical charm.